Oh, is it? Okay, let me see what that's looking
We're heading to Alpha Yankee Golf. Oh, Alpha. Let's see. Oh, what's the like of the
like.
airport that you're
For
heading
me,
to?
it's KEG, but that's for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't know if it's going to be different for
I
you.
saw letters there in Papua New Guinea. There is some icons with 3 letters. I never saw this.
Okay, I'm in front. I'll just take off and then see whoever follows
Okay,
me.
should I start my doesn't matter? Okay, instead of just forgetting some word. Go start.
This is another thing that is annoying to me about Chimboot. The damn fuel tank is in the middle of the threshold here on the 2-1 side. Why? Why is this here?
Missing engineer.
Who signed off on this? I demand names.
Last gas before the highway.
I guess it could be convenient for somebody who's just sitting there at the threshold and idling away. Alright, flaps. Good thing about Chimbu is you don't necessarily even have to lift off before the end of the runway. You
I'm
got a
just
nice
waiting
little
here
drop.
at the gate. Like, I didn't understand what is called. Can you say it again? So
It's K. Well, for me, it's KEG. I don't know what it is for X-Plane. Let me hold on. Let me just turn onto this heading real quick, and I'll trim it out and get you that icon. We're just basically gonna follow this river all the way up.
it is Goropa. I don't.
Goroka's AYGA. That's where we took
I know.
off from.
But like I'm seeing Valencia trying to see
Okay,
trains.
the ICO for KEG is AYLG.
Confirm AYLG.
Correct.
Okay, let me just set this into the G3000 thingy.
I think I heard Ryan say one time that he did a little motorcycle trip up this road, here to our left. I don't know if he ever recorded it or if it was just a passing mention. But that would be a hell of a ride. That's an impressive road.
Takes a lot of time, I think.
Well, if you've, for the people in the States, if you've ever been to like Yosemite or any of the national parks there in the Sierra Nevada over in California, it's incredible how long it actually takes to travel 30 miles on one of those roads. Just switchback after switchback, turn after turn. You know, as the crow flies 30 miles, but you're going to end up doing almost 150 just in the switchbacks and turns through the valleys, and climbing over hills, going back down hills.
These are not tarmac roads. They are
Oh no, yeah.
gravel roads, so they're not always in the best condition.
I've popped it back on live weather just to check it out, and this is pristine.
I'm doing live weather and it just says to me that Cirrus, couple, yeah, 15 kilometers. You're in explain live weather. Just some cirrus clouds.
I've got, for the most part, in the valley looking up, I got blue skies, got a couple of tufts of clouds off to the north, and there was a little bit of a cloud forming at the base of the valley to our west. Surprisingly, I have little nav map is showing me that I've got no wind or 1 knot wind coming up the valley, which I'm sure is going to change as we get higher up in altitude, climbing up, because this is a pretty rough valley.
What's the elevation at this next airport?
Next airport elevation is
Drum roll.
drum roll, please. Yes.
Yeah, you have to look it up without flying into a mountain yourself. So it's tricky.
8,399 feet.
That's a tall boy.
So pattern. Well, it's kind of a straight in approach to the side of the mountain, so you don't necessarily have to come in like
For some
1,000
reason,
plus.
for some reason, when I put it the 1000, the airport and the panel, it doesn't show up like there. AYLG.
Yeah.
It doesn't show. Let me send can I send a screenshot Jennifer?
So yeah, because this runway is pretty much in the side of the mountain, we don't have to come in at a higher pattern altitude. You can probably come in at, I'm gonna shoot for 8,700 feet. Try to eyeball the top of the runway and kind of come in lined up with the top of the runway, and then drop it on in and match the profile of the slope, which I think it's only like 10%, but I may be wrong.
Let me.
Is this
Send
it?
in general to you guys
Yep.
see.
Yep, this is it. I am well high.
Oh, this is not an approach. This is this is a dive attack.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, it's right there.
Yeah.
Hey, totally overlooked it.
I was just following Wacky, just on his tail.
I was following you.
So everyone is doing
Pretty much
a
full flaps
steep
and
dive.
putting it idle.
Whoa, hold up before I really go into the ground.
It's got a nice slope
Yeah.
to it. So.
So I'll wait with the thrust reverse, otherwise I'll have everyone crashing into the back of me.
I floated about halfway down that thing.
A bit more power, because everyone's overtaking.
Like a glove.
Do I follow the river or something?
Yeah, you
Because
can
I
follow.
don't. Like, which side? North, south, river.
You're gonna be following the river to the north, and it's going to be on the west side of the river. this year in November, do you happen to own Microsoft Flight Simulator as well?
Indeed, I own my Xbox. I like into Microsoft Flight Simulator for some time, and my graphics card broke. So I'm using a integrated. It's really much. It can handle explain 30 FPS, but
Sure.
run so. And I had a RX 80, and I was in stuff like that, but I explained
Gotcha.
my.
I'm just gonna let you guys know, and this isn't a competition, but I'm gonna be really disappointed if more people show up for the New Zealand and Australia run.
By the way, who's doing it?
One talk is gonna be leading it.
Oh, okay.
Figured to get the guy who speaks talk piece in and, you know, does a ton of cultural studies, and on top of that, he's from actually both him and Rob Roy are both from originally. I guess they were
Yeah.
born there, born in New Britain, north side of the island.
Yeah, lots of local knowledge.
I just said in my call center 960.
You're kind of breaking up just a little bit.
Oh.
I don't know if that's the mic or the connection.
Maybe. I'm just following the river to the court. Howdy.
All right. Well, if you see us and slip into a different reality and dimension, and you see us flying by, give us a wave. We're about to depart KEG and head back out. We're gonna basically follow the valley back out before going over Chimbu, we're gonna cut left, or cut right, I should say. Cut right and head up the valley towards Mount Hagen.
Just following the river and seeing Volanta. Sure, guys, sighting.
Roger that. Pull off, shut off, cut off, and crack my door.
Not on takeoff.
That's you don't really think about it when you think about it in context of aviating in Europe or in North America. You don't really think about it all that much, but in here, like the stark reality is, if you crash, it's gonna be crumpled. Your airframe's gonna go wherever the trees want it to go. And so having your door cracked so that you have a means of egress and you're not going to be trapped into a potentially burning bomb. Yeah, it's probably a good idea to crack your door.
Yeah, better to jump out. Does anyone have a switch box instead of a checklist, like a missionary bush pilot? He always has a little switch box with switches which function as a sort of checklist.
I'm probably gonna buy one of those. Not gonna lie, just to have it around. I want one of the backlit ones.
Because he sells them himself now with a little logo of him on the end of it. I saw.
Like, what'll be the runway heading?
Runway heading for KEG?
Yeah.
That was 32. I wouldn't mind seeing something, a mod for the 208 that has that box.
It should be possible, but you have to modify
Built in.
the interior of the. Or maybe you can just add a file to the. It's like floats, adding floats. If you can do that, then you should be able to add a little box with switches.
I mean, even,
Panel.
yeah, even if it's just, you know, all the button does is turn a light on, or alternate a light on the top or bottom depending on the direction of the toggle.
The real thing doesn't even do that. It's just a toggle. It does nothing. It has no.
No power required.
It's just that it's a tactile checklist.
And visual as well. You still see the
Yeah.
rocker switches up or down.
But you know how humans are. We like to press things and click things to get things to work and know that we did it.
When you make a mod, it's very important that you make a very satisfying click sound when you do the toggle.
Oh yeah, you gotta have
That's
that.
the most
satisfaction.
important thing. The toggle sound.
If live weather is on, correct for me, it looks like got a little bit of a cloud bank setting in on the north side of Chimbu right now.
Okay, let's try real weather. Live weather.
Nice fluffy clouds ahead.
When is heading further to one or Jumbo?
Okay, we're turning to the right.
Yeah,
Whoa,
we can-
someone.
We can cut through this little valley right here before getting into the main valley. There's a little valley right before you enter.
Yeah.
I'll drop down into that and ride that up for a ways.
I'm soon going to.
Our next destination.
Kegel.
Yeah, Kegelsuggle's the runway we just departed from. And
Yeah,
we-
I'm arriving because my Cessna 152 isn't working correct.
You're flying a 152?
I
Ooh,
mean 172.
That's probably not gonna cut it for this trip. There's gonna be plenty of times that we're gonna have to cross over 10,000 feet, and you're gonna be pretty anemic at that altitude.
I'm cruising at flight level 606 because I'm just feeling more safe to cruise lower because it's my second time flying VF. I never been to general aviation and flying VF4, so it's one of my first times.
Well, this place here is a hell of a place to get your toes wet. I'll say that.
How does the oxygen over 10,000 feet work for the caravan?
do we have it?
The switch keeps saying in-op for me, so I'm just kinda.
Well, is it like individual mass for each person, or is it pressurized? Or...
Oh yeah. No, this is not.
There's an oxygen switch. I see it middle. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the 208's not a pressurized cabin, so it's all mask fed.
Sweet.
So it should be here somewhere at the top above our heads with no masks inside.
Yeah, the masks aren't in sight, but you got the oxygen switch with the pressure gauge.
I think I'm gonna get the Cessna 208 for X-Men because it's very nice quality.
There you go.
And it can land very and like pretty much every airport and place.
If you're gonna stick to using X-plane and you're interested in getting better scenery, I know there's a few of us who used to fly PNG quite often in X-plane and can direct you towards
I
some
can
good
see that
resources.
basically seeing you guys will enter and there's just Australia and you guys fly in Australia, right?
We're in. This is Papua New Guinea.
And the Indonesian side of New Guinea.
Yeah, the Indonesian
Yep.
side of New Guinea is to our west about 300 miles. I do sometimes quite enjoy how this valley gets socked in with these cloud banks. Just little pockets and seas of white. We need to have like a random fire mod that just like makes little smoke fires all over the place.
That'd be interesting.
Adds the because that's what they do. I mean that's a common forest management practice is just set fires.
Just landed here at the AG.
Roger that. When you take off, you're gonna follow that river back out, and then hang a right-hand turn onto heading 278 generally, and that'll take you up to Mount Hagen.
Oh, how do I turn these things down?
I'm flying a little bit off of 278. I'm flying currently 287, pretty much straight up the valley. For those of you who want to fly a little more risky, you can try to take approach onto runway 30 instead of 12 into Mount Hagen. 30 gives you
I'm
approximately.
literally flying very low, so I'm like 1,000. I'm really feeling safe. Yes. Feeling
Just
very safe.
Try
I
not
just use Volante to the manual approach and
just try not to die.
By the way, sorry for that barrel roll. I think someone was in formation when I did that.
it's really cool flying here. Like, I should get some R4 for XP, which is the satellite thingy for X-plane, and really fly here because, yeah, here most people fly visual, correct? Because there isn't arrivals for some airports.
Yeah. Generally, it's all.
Visual.
Yeah, it's technically VFR flying. A lot of the time in the real world, they'll file the plans as technically IFR simply because of the changing weather conditions.
Papua New Guinea has a nice century and like more than 800 tribes. I don't know why I did mind that. I'm just going back to the gym. Yeah. Just following their the river. And there's some random road there. Some random road. See some cars passing.
So you guys come here often,
That- Oh yeah, all the time.
or?
Was that a joke question or is that a serious question?
Yeah, it's a joke.
Okay.
There's a confusing like river part that, yeah, there's two ways, and if you don't go to the correct way, you go wrong way. Like, I don't know how to explain that, but there is two exits in the middle of the
Stop.
river, and
Holy shit.
it takes you for another place.
Yeah, just when you're following it out, just follow it out into the main valley.
Yes, I'm just following just that.
Alright, so one of my visual references that I use when I'm flying into Mount Hagen from this direction from Goroka or flying in from Nadzab, there's like 3 or 4 little ridge mountain hill type things in the middle of the valley floor. The one that's furthest to the west, I try to go on the south side of that, and then when I'm passing it, I start to make my turn in onto 1-2.
Copy that. I just get this.
Oh my god. You're handsome. Yeah. My big boy. I don't know if I'm going to make this landing under night vision. We're coming up, baby.
And welcome to the heart of the Highlands.
Let's see, let's get this range down a little bit.
Well, I think it was actually like the 1920s before any Westerner actually realized this place existed.
Realized like all
took
of
a-
Papua New Guinea existed.
Well, no, this valley here, the Eastern Highlands. This little valley floor right here. It wasn't until they flew over, I think it was in the 20s when they were doing a survey, that they realized they started seeing huts and villages and smoke coming up, and this was a pretty populous area that was completely unknown to the outside world until the 1920s.
Imagine flying here in the 20s. Like, we think it's remote now.
But
Yeah.
runway heading for AY Champ.
You got no business being so.
AYMH is going to be runway 12, unless you feel like being a
Just landing at
daredevil.
back to Chambo because I'm the correct runway heading. I see this flat area and I'm doing the same visual thing that I just said to. So I'm just gonna land here and get some fuel because
All right. So yeah, this place looked a lot different. I mean, it looks remote now, yeah, but imagine it without the advent of forestry coming into this place. This is a whole new world.
Is that why most of the area is clear just because of forestry?
Yeah, a lot of the early economy was based on forestry. I mean, you got this massive surplus of trees here, not really so much in a majority of Australia. So chop the trees down, short 90-mile ship route across the Coral Sea.
And I landed safely at Chimp.
Good.
Does
But
seem like a pretty
now
good way to
it's-
make money.
Oh yeah. Just chop the trees down, float them down the rivers, and sell them as lumber. But now I think mining has actually overtaken that as far as the percentage. One of the mines that we'll be flying over next weekend is the OK Teddy mine, and the OK Teddy mine is responsible for like 10 or 15% of the total GDP of the entire country, which is ridiculous for like one mine to be a tenth of the entire GDP.
God. What are they mining?
It's a multi mineral mine. They do gold and silver, I think.
Gold and silver.
There's another mine over to the northeast of there called Pogera, and Pogera has that's strictly a gold mine.
Where are we heading next?
We're heading to Mount Hagen, AYMH,
Thanks.
and since we're coming in to land here, elevation 5,367 feet for the runway. Runway
Copy that.
12.
It shows up on my panel.
I'm not seeing it. That's gotta be it right there.
But yeah, PNG has a very interesting mix on as far as economic levels go. You have massive corporations that contribute billions of dollars to the economy in the gold and silver and copper mining. And then you have all of these literal
The-
village economies where
What is the GDP?
the GDP of Papua New Guinea, I don't know the exact number off top. I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 or 15 billion. It's not a massively wealthy country by any means.
Shit. God damn. There he goes. Dade Wiggles wiggling it. We're a little low, little left. Or a lot of low, but we'll be alright. Not enough. And we will cut the throttle. And fly it in. Boom. There's some taxi lights running.
Nice, my plane is following the road correctly, so pretty much arriving there like 5 minutes.
I want to commend Donut for his excellent job with this fence, because I know that fence was a pain in the ass to do, and it looks great.
Does looks really good.
A wrought iron red one, you mean? Or the gate? Oh, there's a perimeter fence.
Oh, that's plain.
And if you've ever played around with the fences in the SDK, they are a pain in the ass to get to line up properly.
And we were not
Okay, Grandma, let's taxi.
configuration.
Who put all these planes here?
It's too many.
I think you did.
We'll park down here by the cool kids with the helicopters.
Lights on? Yeah, it says they're on. So what? Ooh.
Our next stop is going to be one that should be somewhat familiar to anybody who's watched missionary bush pilot videos. Yambatak is a pretty frequent destination. And the way we'll be going, it's going to be an interesting approach. So we'll be landing, I think we'll land on 2-1. So we'll just make a wide right-hand turn in the valley, or a wide left-hand turn in the valley, skirting the right side of the valley or the east side. Come back in on 2-1.
That pulled up.
Everybody down here at Mount Hagen? Might want to check fuel. I'm already down to 29%. So I'm going to top her back up to 60. 99 gallons of Jet A in the wing. 99 gallons Jet A.
I think Zim's on his way in.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, it looks like he's still over 10,000 feet.
I lost visual on him. Is he coming into land, or is he just kind of flying off into space?
Looks like he's still coming in. He's down to 8,700. He's back
Okay.
to 80, no, it's 86. I don't know. Jeez. Yeah, I've got him on full Anthony. He's coming in.
I'm gonna go ahead and start my taxi down to the end of runway 30.
Just having a good time. This is nice. I'm enjoying this. And we're a little fast. We're gonna slam on them brakes. Parking brake. Fast boy up there.
Alright, we'll go ahead and proceed to take off. We'll follow this valley to our north and head up to Yambatak.
Roger that. I'm with a notepad, like, writing every information to visual, cause, yeah.
Taxi light off. I don't know, you're supposed to shut that off, but we'll shut it off, I'll take off. Here ye. Rotate. Get those flaps up. Set a little bit. Mixture back. Drop back just a little bit. Sharp turn to the right. Back under control. There we go. Look at that. We're out of here. Sun's starting to rise over Papua New Guinea. Look at that.
Another cool thing about Mount Hagen is it's the location where they have probably the biggest cultural event in the country. Lots of people come out from the villages surrounding and do up their tribal garb, and it's a kind of a touristy event kind of thing, but still it's a neat event to showcase.
I know Mount Hagen. Runway tree.
Oh my god, every time he talks.
Like, it's a flat area in the middle of the country that basically has
You're a
big
fighter.
airport. And I can basically land at 737 if, like, there isn't any passengers. No, basically the fuel for the operation stuff. It has a nice amount of meters in the runway, so.
Yep, it's a pretty popular commercial airport. Lots of
Hey,
people
some
fly
sun.
in, lots of tourists.
Air Eugenie operated it, like, yes,
Fuck.
and
Forgive me for being nosy, but Sierra, are you running on attenuation or push to talk?
I am on push to talk.
Might want to pick a different button.
One, I'm sure.
God, I'm fine. Woo!
Yeah, either your button is intermittent and it's not continuously picking your voice up, or your connection is poor and it's breaking up consistently.
Then what button should I get?
Whatever button works. If you hold it down and it's not, I mean, I could tell you a program to download that'll. You can test key presses and see if the button is working properly, but really it's just whatever button you
Man,
know.
I got this
will work.
keyboard yesterday.
All right. You heard him, boys.
It might just be the connection then.
Look at you. Bunch of beautiful people hanging out.
So, if you look off to our
Can you
approximately
hear me correctly now?
yes,
Okay. I just changed the button to B.
Okay. Thanks, kid.
so at our approximately 1 o'clock, there's a little low spot in this ridge line to our northwest. We're gonna kind of cut through that. Looks like some clouds on the other side right there, so we're just kind of aim for the center of those clouds, and then once we get into that main valley, the trunk valley that goes north out of the highlands, we'll follow that along.
Roger that.
Follow that along to Yambatok.
A question, what is your next leg?
We're heading to AYYZ.
AYYZ. Thanks. And I'm touching down in Mount Hagen now. Landing safely. shut down at Monhagen and then it's definitely thanks for the information.
No problem. And for those of us who are on the current route to Yambaitak, let's see, map. Yambaitak is at 672 feet. So it's at the bottom of the valley. Approach is going to be on 2-1. 03 is going to be probably a little bit too clustered, require too much of a steep dive due to its location in the bottom of the valley floor. So take a wide right in the valley, left-hand turn in onto 21, and hopefully it all goes according to plan.
Just confirming it's AYYZ.
Correct.
Thanks.
Where the hell is that? Look at this. How beautiful. Oh, yeah, this view more. I can see in front of me. I can see below. I can appreciate more. Yeah, we're fast.
About to fly over Ruana. It's going to be pretty much directly below and to our right. It's going to be right there, kind of, if you can see that little grassy plain that kind of follows this south bank of the river right here. It's pretty much just a grass strip right there in that that clearing. You see how steeply down that river is, and this is all kind of a plateau. That's a common characteristic of the valleys here in the Eastern Highlands. Lots of flat space, but it's highly elevated flat space.
I'm following the flat space currently and seeing loads of plant.
Oh, just... You're not even near us, dude.
Roger that.
Overspeed. Whoops. Bring that back. There we go.
We'll be there around heading.
2-1.
For the first time, I have two comrades in front of me. Comrades Pugh and Comrade Bingham.
There's a...
Who's Comrade Pugh?
That might be my name in the game. I thought it was Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, okay.
It spells with a C though.
You mean the correct way?
Hey.
Shots fired.
I was young and impressionable. No, that's... Well, actually, that is a really old gamer tag of mine.
Yeah, mine's from back in like 2011, I think.
Like mine's... I set mine up for Games for Windows Live. That was... So, That would have been 2009.
I'm refusing to share my games for Windows Live. Gamertag is horrendous.
It's that bad.
Yo, it's that bad. Back when I was elite pro Halo gamer.
The only reason I had a Games for Windows Live tag was because it was required to actually install and play Grand Theft Auto 4.
That's the only reason I had it too.
That, to me, there are aspects of GTA 4 that massively surpass GTA 5. Some of the damage models for some of the vehicles.
The helicopters felt better.
Yeah. Something satisfying about shooting an RPG at a helicopter and its tail comes off and you're just dumping a mag into the cockpit trying to get it to come down finally.
Yeah, the RPGs with their corkscrew flight trajectory.
Yeah. Good times. Alright, random question. What is the most boring flight you've ever done and actually sat down and said you were gonna flip and finish it? What's the most boring flight you've ever done?
The one from whatever headquarters in France to Microsoft headquarters.
Was from
Same here.
to Thank 14 hours.
14 hours over
Water.
a water. Yeah, a lot of water.
Do it in real time?
A lot of Indian Ocean.
Does it count if I went to sleep in the middle of it?
Only if your dreams were boring. If you had
I don't
really
have
boring
dreams.
dreams.
I would say that's evidence.
Evidence of the boredom.
Exactly.
Ah.
I was gonna say for me, it's any flight in France basically.
Is France boring to fly in?
It's just flat forever, especially in the north and the mid part of France. Yeah.
Yeah, what the Alps are great.
Yeah, I like that whole, basically the whole southeast portion of the country is nice to fly in. And parts of the southwest too, down when you get towards the Pyrenees, it gets kind of rolly hills and stuff. But
Yeah,
when you're
towards Spain.
when you're up anywhere near Paris or Normandy, yeah, it's pretty flat and boring.
Yeah.
Did a DC-6 flight this morning. A Red Bull from Namibia to Victoria Falls. That was pretty boring. I mean, it's all desert. There's nothing there.
I mean, I've done a flight from Namibia to it's just pretty boring for 3 hours.
But in the DC6, you're always busy checking all the systems.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fine.
Temperatures
That
are-
was fine, and the
Yeah.
talk was good. There was a nice bunch of guys, but the vistas were extremely boring. There was nothing.
Yeah. My longest flights were also in the DC6, but I can't think of them being boring because there's always something wrong.
You always have to do something.
Well, that sounds stressful.
Yeah, but you're looking for a challenge. Try to
Great
turn
day.
the
No way.
flight engineer off, but it's almost impossible.
I'm not gonna lie, most of these basic planes are a challenge for me.
For me, it wasn't boring in the sense that there was nothing to see. I mean, there were highlights definitely, but there was also plenty of boredom to be had in it. It did a flight ferrying a 208 from, was it Chile? I think it was Chile, somewhere right on the Chile-Argentine border. Flew a 208 from there all the way up to Idaho. Like 14,000 miles. 100 stops. It took me like 3 weeks to do the whole thing, but it was, God, there were some parts that I was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to fly over the Amazon because there's nothing down there but trees. There's, if I was to run out of fuel, there's nothing I can do. I just have to hope that I stall out and land in a tree that can hold the plane's weight. Turn into a tree house and go off the grid, live the rest of my life up in the trees.
I'm impressed that that took you 3 weeks. That would probably take me about a year.
It was non-stop. It was every night I was doing like 2 or 3 legs of it, a couple hundred miles. When we were really flying on air, we were dedicated. No Six Pack did that same, pretty much the same route, not the exact same.
My most boring flight because I didn't allow myself to go out of live weather, so I did a 2-hour detour to see Machu Picchu, and it was fully clouded and overcast, so I missed it.
Great.
Yeah.
Yo.
I flew over. I tried to see the Nazca lines on my way up, and that was true disappointment. I couldn't see anything. You can make out some of the more distinguished ones, where it's like you can see the very white stone outline,
Yeah.
but
I've seen them because it was my destination for that flight when I missed Machu Picchu, so it was visible but not very good.
we are coming up on Yambai. Just a few more miles up this valley. I want to try to stay on the east side of it. Elevation is 678 for the runway, so come in about 1,600 feet on the pattern. Right here.
What is the name of
Yambai, Ayyz.
the have in my visual?
And that's it there on the left. That little grass strip on the side of the mountain.
It's basically just a grass strip. It's pretty. I don't think I can land.
Oh, you can definitely, if you fly a 208.
No, I'm 72.
Oh yeah, you definitely can fly a 172 in there. If we can get a 208 in here, no problem. You can get a 172 in here, no problem.
At my final
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and flaps on, nosedive in off this left side.
I'm on your butt.
Always a fun and interesting approach, this one. Alright, I am full flaps.
What's our next flag?
Malamuda is the next one.
Copy.
Ooh, a little low.
Oh, this is not the average.
Oh, bounce, bounce, bounce. And come on, down, stay down.
Yo, I landed, bro.
Nice, bro.
400 minutes. I never.
If that was a flight for the airline, y'all would have fired me.
Yes, exactly. But you know that there's a how the pilots that's
Oh no.
Oh
No.
dear, that's not good.
0 November arguments.
So, raise your hand if you bounced.
I'm raising it.
About,
I'm raising.
Not telling.
I'm raising.
about 5 at least.
Hey, do you guys know if YouTube saves live streams?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Yep.
So I'm getting great
Can
shots of everyone
approach it
landing
back.
right now.
Awesome.
Yeah. If you can call it landing.
Bingham, you're up
Very-
in the air for me.
It might be due to
Go
the
around.
mod.
Yeah, I saw it too. Yeah.
Are y'all using the modded AYYZ or are you using the default?
I installed it.
I'm using
Mod it.
default because there isn't any.
Check your altitude on the ground. What are you showing?
I don't know, like my
2986 inches. 740.
Yeah, that's what I'm showing. 740, 29.87 for me.
740 here, but
Oh.
you're about 20 meters in the air.
That's gotta. Is that a helicopter? Or is that just a?
Oh, yeah, that must be a helicopter. He's
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's what. Wasso. Wasso, you're flying a helicopter, right?
Where are you flying, Wazo?
Where are you flying, Wasso?
a
Tell us.
VTOL
208. I was
Buttery
just a
smooth.
bit off. Yeah, well, those are my signature landings.
These planes
Where's
are
he
floating.
going?
Suspicious.
Maybe I fly too many helicopters.
Ernest, are you in a 208?
I literally can't take off while I have a contract because
Yep, Ernest is in a 208.
Yeah, this dude's some wild stuff. Oh, they're all doing it once they hit that part, the runway.
Yeah. Huh. I wonder if it's something to do with the mod, because that bounce that I did was a little bit uncharacteristic, because I shouldn't have bounced that many times.
My bounce is very characteristic.
I must have done something wrong with the scenery. I'm showing 770 for altitude.
What am I at?
Well, dang.
I'm at like 790.
Yeah, this is a Twilight Zone airfield. We're gonna get the hell out of here.
I wasn't even in fucking landing configuration.
We're gonna take off, follow the river up. There's a little valley that cuts off to the west, to the left. We'll follow that up.
we're going to AYER.
We're going to AYPR, yes. And that's gonna be, we're gonna approach that one on 08, so we're gonna make a left or right hand approach that's up to the pilot if they want to air to the south and north of AYPR, and then circle in for landing on 08. Runway altitude for that airport is going to be 2,283 feet. Little nav map. It's not giving me any altitude for this trip, so I'm gonna say, based off the mountains, probably cruise at about 6,000 feet. Should be good for most of the trip. So if we're all down and ready to get the hell out of this mystery place where people bounce sporadically and nobody is at the right altitude.
People float in the air.
I think I'm gonna get a one day for this one.
For the 110,
Yes.
well, I mean, you're Brazilian. You have to own the Brazilian aircraft.
We don't have the same runway because your guy are rolling higher than I am.
Just take off in the damn plane, Wazo. Let's go.
That's what I did.
He's in a helicopter anyways, it's alright.
No, no, I'm not.
Just use the flat spot on the left.
Wazo goes on someone else. Going right through the trees.
Was there a mod for the last airport?
Yes.
Because some people had like a flat runway probably, but I was on the side of a hill.
Did you have the white cones? The side of the runway?
No, it's kind of side. The hill was on the. I was landing sideways. It was weird.
What is our next flag?
It-
Yeah.
It's I don't know what it would be in X-Plane or if it is an X-Plane. The name of the airport is Malamuda, but the ICO for it is AYPR. If it's not in X-Plane, then you might be able to find it in the terrain if it's an open spot. It's basically similar to Yambaitak back there, where it's on a ridge line right next to a river.
Bingham, are your flaps down intentionally?
Not. They shouldn't be right now. They should be up.
I saw the same thing when I was in formation with TBM. It also showed flaps down, which it wasn't.
Disregard.
840.
If there's any issues with this flight plan, I just want to say that I didn't completely come up with it, and anything wrong, I'm blaming Ryan for.
That's the spirit.
Right, it's Ryan's fault. He wanted us to go to Malamuda. If there's an issue with Malamuda, that ain't me.
We can blame Microsoft not making it realistic enough.
I would like to see some retexturing a little bit out here, because if you've watched his videos, you'll notice that a lot of the places that we have like just a ton of trees on are actually not tree covered at all. A lot of it is rolling grasslands, especially in this part of the island.
Yeah, the data that they have, the satellite imagery is not that good.
We need a World Update 7 Papua New Guinea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's vote that up.
We can do it together with Australia.
I think it's going to be a
And
little
New
while
Zealand.
before they finish with Europe.
The way they're picking away at Europe is kind of bugging me. I mean, I get it that they're spending a lot of time getting everything right, but it's just at the rate they're going, it's gonna take them a whole another year to finish up Europe before they're even thinking about other parts of the world.
I reckon we could do it in that amount of time.
Yeah.
Yo, that was a joke. I'm having a hard time texturing a plane.
I would like to see. Go ahead.
If you get hold of the data, if you can get better data, that's the trick, I think.
What kind
I
of data?
spoke with
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
probably probably some good lidar data for the elevation map, and then what you can do, actually, you can use the elevation data, the lidar data, because there's different levels of the lidar data. There's tree canopy lidar data, there's ground level lidar data, and then you have anomalies and stuff, like, you know, things that reflected back on the ground, like a sheet metal roof can throw off a lidar sensor and make it seem like it's a lot closer than it actually is. So you have to weed out all of that bad data, but you can use the ground elevation lidar data to create the actual topography, and then also use the tree coverage to determine what's actually covered with forest and what's not.
Is that
Which it seems. Yep.
Is that what they're doing with the rest of the updates? They're using lidar data.
Yeah. There's just higher resolution lidar data. I think generally, from what I've seen in Papua New Guinea, it looks like we're using about 10 or 15 meter data, which isn't bad for mountains and stuff like that, but when you get into like small tight valleys, you can definitely tell where the data is insufficient. Whereas in Europe, they're probably like for the ones that they've updated, they're probably down to 1, maybe 5 meter at the tops resolution data. There you go. That's the right plane. It's my plane of choice right there.
Is it possible to maybe reduce speed to 150? Because I think I'm maxing out.
It's a really nice place. It's a bush pilot's paradise in my opinion.
Oh, and so you guys are heading to Malamuda Airstrip?
Yep.
Oh, that I call for me it's BG 00234.
Oh, okay.
There are some strange vehicles like this, especially in small countries.
This is not a small country.
I know, but like, it's not a small country. I'm not saying like in territory size.
Underdeveloped, we'll call it that. That's a nice catch-all term for it. Speaking of development, though, so if y'all notice that we do kind of we pitch out Volanta all the time, and one of the reasons is we've got a decent partnership with Orbix, and another thing is secretly I'm pretty sure my conspiracy theory is correct that Orbix is using that to determine where they should focus their resources on developing new map, you know, new ground textures, new terrain meshes, new airports, stuff like that. So the more and more they see us flying in Papua New Guinea on Volanta, the more likely we may see something from them to improve this, because I don't think Microsoft's going to get to it before a third party will.
If we get an Orbex PNG, that'd be sweet.
The stuff they've done on Prepared, on P3D, the stuff they've done there is pretty good.
They've got good mesh for PNG in Prepared, I think.
So, over the hump or left through the valley? What do you guys think?
Yes.
All right.
Indeed.
Over the hump.
Not to-
If Volanta is not open in my desktop, but it's running in the background, do they still see us?
Yes.
Like, yeah. All right.
They are watching us.
Because in VR, it's no use for me, you know. So
I'm in VR.
yeah.
You are in VR?
Oh, nice. I mean, get some. When I use that VR in Massive Fast, I wanted to film it because it had so much shadows that it basically gets some turbulence and stuff.
Not to dispute your conspiracy theory, but I have a feeling Microsoft is doing updates like spreading cheese for mice. Every time they do an update, even from the beginning, they're looking for high population, high buying areas.
Yeah. It's high income,
Business model.
Yeah,
high disposable income.
England is a big customer for them.
exactly.
Scandinavia is low population but very high income.
Exactly. And what they're probably trying to do is they've got a boatload of money off of North America, and they don't have to do anything any upgrading until last because they already have them sold. So they're focusing on the.
For the name of this, like you get some money to with the USA.
New sales.
I'm enjoying the flight simulator conspiracies.
Well, my conspiracy is that this is the best place to fly. You can't get me out of a 208 out of Papua New Guinea to save your life until that Kodiak releases, and then it's going to be Kodiaks in Papua New Guinea until the
Kodiak?
Beaver.
Yeah, the beaver. I can't wait for a beaver.
Or Twin Otter or something like that. When is that? Has
I'm
there been any
Canadian.
news?
Tomorrow.
Is this one of those conspiracy theories?
Yes.
Because the beaver is Milvis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one, the Twin Otter is Aerosoft.
Is there any conspiracy theories that Microsoft is going to add any planes?
There's always a conspiracy
Hey.
theory about everything.
Well, they're working on that that half plane, half helicopter, half drone thing, right? It's like man, bear, pig, but for aircraft.
Because apparently people don't want to fly helicopters.
Oh yeah, that was
But it's
such
Yonka coming.
BS.
But it's too hard.
I'm mostly hoping for gliders.
Hello.
Well, you got the Discus, it's a good one, isn't it?
Like,
What?
you guys saw the
You got fired day one?
Yeah, the GB3.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked with the guy who helped put it together. That's a neat plane, but I don't know if I'd pay money for it. I think the Vertigo scratches that itch well enough for me.
You want what?
But then again, I'm not really into
Oh, really?
racers or stunt planes. I'm flying a 208. I love practicality.
So did you make any money or? Nice.
Also, not all that interested in the Tomcat or any fighter jets, really.
Yeah.
I like some of the old Warbirds.
Made more than
Like
did working in engineering.
the Corsair was pretty neat. When you over throttle or overpower the engine, it can blow on you, and it's like spatters the cockpit with oil. and then it becomes the worst glider in the world.
So yeah, what are these?
Still going to Malamuda.
Like no, after.
Yifki. Don't have an ICO for it. It's called Yifki on my in MSFS because it doesn't exist in MSFS.
It's getting a little bit cloudy here.
Yeah, it's starting to cloud up a little bit.
So you know,
Stay
the,
calm.
sorry.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
clear.
You know how they got the
Go ahead.
172 tail dragger mod?
Yeah.
Do you know if they have that for the Coronado 182T?
I'm not sure. He's actually in the Discord, Bagaloo. If you want to @, him or try to send him a message, you could ask.
I can kiss that man. Yeah, I'll definitely. That'd be cool.
He's a nice guy too. He'll answer you.
How's that collective project you got going on, Wazo?
I'm just doing the connections in the head right now. My whole arm is strong and sturdy because I bought one before and it was so weak that I was afraid of using it. So I redesigned everything and I'm almost done, but I'm a slow worker. I just do that for passing time, you know?
Well, that's gonna be a really interesting thing to see. Is it, are you gonna is it gonna be a product that's gonna ship, or is it gonna be like a 3D printer type gig?
No, I
like you
printed everything. I can, if anyone wants, probably gonna put it on Thingiverse for a while. I don't know. I'm just, everything is working fine so far. I have to redesign the base, but it's gears and everything. So
You should probably consider if it's something that everybody else involved can get on board with, reaching out to Real Sim Gear. I think not Real Sim Gear. What is this? The
Rotor Sim Pilot.
well, no, the group that publishes the 3D printer version of the yoke for the Spitfire and the B40.
Yeah, I'll check them out. They have a decent product, and my design is pretty neat. I'm really proud of it.
The big radials.
Yeah, big radials. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got their P40.
Yeah, me too. Great plane.
I'll need to hook y'all
can't-
up. You
I
and
can't
Osborne.
land that guy. I can't land that plane. No way.
It's terrifying. Take off and land. It's terrifying. It's
Oh,
nice
yeah,
great
it's-
though.
Yeah, once you're in the air, it's okay, but I guess it wasn't meant to come back, you know?
Left-hand circuit into runway 08. Gonna go ahead and start my turn. Basically come out into this river and use the river as kind of your base.
I'm 5 meters behind you.
5 meters.
Yeah,
I'm 5 meters
literally.
behind you.
I can touch the underside of your.
Yeah, you guys are quite close.
I can. I see. I noticed the moment you deployed flaps. Whoa, that was another notch.
Willem!
I'll put some image of the collective on the website tonight. I'll get a chance. I'll put it somewhere.
Bingham,
Sounds
you're in the
good.
trees.
Oh no. Break. Break.
Yeah, that's not. Hey, you're flying. You're in a different altitude. Or I am. I must be under the ground for you now.
These are the tiniest cones I've ever seen. You noticing this, Donut? It looks like instead of putting the cones up like on the ground like you have, like these cones are buried
Oh, that's a bounce.
into the terrain.
That's a
Probably
bounce.
a solid 2-3 feet.
Just haven't cut the grass.
Oh, dude,
I had
fair.
a kangaroo landing.
Yeah, so many. It's free jumps or something.
Or a camel.
Yeah. Well, as you wish.
Oh god, Ernest. Ernest, your helicopter isn't working right.
Bounce it 3 times, but okay.
That BN2 just. This bounces.
Everybody's bouncing.
All I saw was butter.
It's quite a drop.
I think Milo over at NZA made this one, and it's interesting. Like the runway has like a texture on the synthetic vision. It's like its own gradient.
Yeah, I see that. It's like plow traces or something.
It's the lawnmower marks. Is that everyone? Look at that. Nope, ignore that.
All right, and this is our final stop before the end. So we've only got another between 15 and 20 miles of flying. The final stop's gonna be Yivki.
Yivki, huh?
And we'll just take off, follow that valley off to our right, up to a low spot in that ridge line, straight ahead, and then we're gonna cross over,
We're coming in.
follow that over, and then drop down into another river valley, and follow that out to Yivki. Yivki is going to be we're gonna be doing kind of a right-hand approach in on it. Its elevation is 3488, and the runway heading that we'll be taking is 11.
I think we got 1 or 2 more coming in.
A random 208 just appeared out of the trees crossing the runway.
He was sleeping. Oh god. Oh no!
It's gonna be an accident.
Drifting around it.
Oh, that's a fast approach right there.
Go around.
Marvelous, yeah.
Drop, drop, drop.
It's a positive touchdown.
Gonna bounce.
Whee!
Yeah, that's.
Drive the nose wheel into the ground.
Everybody bounces.
That's all bush for
That's
me.
why we have these traces in the runway.
Oh, that was good.
I must have a completely different scenery.
Yeah, there's definitely some quirks going on with these runways. I don't know what's up with it. If it's an issue that just recently came about with World Update 6, or what?
The cones are almost gone. You just see
Yeah.
the tippy bits.
Same here. Are we all down?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to see how
Yeah.
pretty this is?
All right. We'll go ahead and finish up this last leg. Gonna take off, cut right onto that river, and follow the valley out.
It's almost night, right?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty good. It's wild. That's a video game, right? And it's the entire world, 1-to-1 scale. Here.
One of you could have trimmed some trees and made it easier for me to take off.
You don't have to stay. I just wanted to show you.
Did they ever fix? Is the SDK fixed now? I don't know. I've not messed with it because I know that was an issue with getting things to save properly. That kind of put us behind on our New Guinea improvement projects. One of my favorite airfields, F&E, Fane River, or Fane Mission, down south of here. It has spontaneously grew 50-foot trees right at the threshold. So it's tree dodging on that approach. Kind of disappointing.
Question.
Yeah.
How do you use the reverse thrust on the C208? I just figure out how to map it on my controller, but when and how do you use it?
I use it sometimes on pushbacks, and when I'm landing on a short field after touchdown, I'll pop it into reverse and try to slow down. That way I don't have to only rely on my braking.
So as you land, you switch to it.
Yeah, I have mine on a toggle. Six-pack uses use an on-off, right?
Yeah, I've got a toggle behind my throttle or button. I press it and then it switches to.
Yeah, I just put it on the one right below
but then
my
you use
throttle. I can.
yeah, and then on that moment the throttle is the reverse, so I can also use the amount of thrust reverse I can still manage with the throttle. And then I press it again and it's normal throttle again.
Thanks.
But the key itself, I posted a screenshot a few days ago. I copy it.
I'm learning.
But that's what works for me. Some other people have a difference. Like Bingham, I think you have just a toggle.
Yeah, I just hold a button down and that initiates reverse.
So you always have max reverse thrust.
I got it on a toggle, but I can control after that with my throttle. I got it on a toggle. Sorry.
I have an explosion of C208s in front of me. They go in all directions. Hello, comrade 3.
I got lost.
Just trying to climb over this.
Stick to Wacky.
I think about just spook six-pack.
I'm in flight refueling. Just
Tank plane.
I really don't like climbing over this thing at under 100 knots, but it is what it is.
Could be worse.
Getting a little bit of wind right up here.
Well,
Alright, and then diving back down.
that was a sudden drop.
I need to leave. It was nice flying. It was nice flying with you guys.
Yeah, man. See you around.
Have a good day.
See ya.
Very talkative young man.
Yes, he was.
You actually reminded me a little of me when I was 14.
If you can remember that far, I can't. Well, I can.
I don't know if I'm gonna try to pass this one up. We'll see. I'm gonna follow the river a little bit. It looks a little steep.
The only thing I missed was the 70s.
Oh yeah.
Wazo had the hair and everything, man.
Come on. That's a low shot, okay? You're the only one who saw that picture.
Well, that can be changed.
I don't mind. I'm proud of my hair. I had. I still got plenty, but they're much shorter now.
We can change that.
I've cut my hair 3 times since I was 17 years old, all for jobs, and it's back to my waist again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The picture that Bingham saw, I had my hair. It doesn't show, but they were in the middle of my back. But it's like it doesn't go lower than my shoulders. So I had that fro. But I curl naturally, so.
Let's see. I got a little longer than shoulder length hair. I like to be in a professional environment with really long hair because it really throws people off. I like to say that I got where I am despite my haircut.
Well, it's easier now than in the 70s with the hair.
Yeah, yeah. I still get called a dirty hippie sometimes, but I embrace it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do work for an environmental company, so I guess technically I am a dirty hippie.
A bit more liberal.
I wouldn't.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't go as far to say that. That American politics are interesting. I'll just leave it at that.
It's a big show.
Yeah, more
Exactly.
entertaining.
Just look them straight in the eye and say, diversity.
Stop, you're scaring them.
we were in Papua New Guinea, and it's the same planet, so shouldn't be any borders. John Lennon was right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But where there's men things, you know, men attitudes.
I think there'd be too many people fighting over who was going to be governor.
Always is. Always a price. I thought One Talk had fixed it, but maybe I downloaded the wrong version of it. If you see, if it's still visible for you, if you look off to your 2 o'clock, there is a spire or spike
Yeah,
just
it's still there.
protruding out of the tree.
My
Kinda
old
small.
friend.
I actually, flying a lot in Papua New Guinea, I've used that as a visual reference when flying from either Wewak or Sentani down to Moro or Como.
Well, I don't see it.
Yeah, there's monolith way out by the horizon.
Spike. Yeah.
Spike.
In front of us?
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I
up.
don't have it. I took the.
Pretty far away.
All right.
Oh yeah, just over the clouds. In my case.
right in the middle of
Oh
Mordor.
yeah, I see it now. All right.
I
Okay.
had hoped
Yeah,
that
it's
this was
there.
working.
Passing on the right.
I wasn't close enough yet.
Alright, this is going to be very interesting because we're going to have a cloud bank pretty much all the way on our approach until like maybe a mile before the threshold. But you can see the runway, so that's a positive thing, I guess. But we're going to have to go into this
Right,
cloud
just-
bank below.
Just past it.
I'm going to go ahead and just dive
It's
on
in the
into
valley
it.
to the left. Yeah.
I don't need no cloud bank.
There we go.
I have no idea where I'm going. I'm just following people.
Yeah, it's in a side valley to the left. If you see the main valley,
And
it's,
half of them just disappeared.
We're in the clouds.
to drop my speed.
Alright, go 50% flaps.
Touchdown at 65 or 60.
Full flaps.
Touchdown, reverse.
Touching down at 64.
It's slightly uphill, so have to get the power going. And they've got satellite television. Good. And there's lots of people at the end. Not moving.
Well, not my passengers.
Oh, they're now shredded by my prop. Reverse. Get the other ones also. Give them also a view.
Why are y'all sideways?
So welcome to Yifki. This place has solar panels on the roofs, which soon Munbil will have as well.
Who did this scenery?
This was Milo Sinks with NZA.
Some of the trees are really good.
Yeah, he did some decent work on them. I really like the airfields themselves. I don't know if it was an issue with the update that caused the terrain to be varied like it is, but aesthetically speaking, it's a very nice grass strip.
Well, guys, it was nice flying with you. It was very nice run, very nice flight plan. Thank you, Begum. See you next
Anytime.
time.
And I hope to see everybody back here next weekend, same time, 1900 UTC at Yifki. We'll be departing from here and we'll be reaching our final stop of Munbil on that trip. So until then, I will see you guys around.
Take care.
Have a good
Bye-bye, everybody.
Have a good one. Thanks for putting this together. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Goodbye.
Bye.